Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm your host TJ, and welcome to the Long Game. So this week we're going to cover pound NZD, and as I covered in my short, I was talking about how pound NZ has finally broken this monthly trend line that's been going up since around January of 2023 when it started on this uptrend. And it's finally broken through as of the end of January of this year, and we can see here that price has been just pitter paddling around. I'm on my weekly time frame right now. It's just been pitter paddling around in this area. And then finally last week we had a strong bullish engulfing candle going up, and it closed as a bullish engulfing candle. And I love that, right? So what we're going to do today is establish is, okay, is this a actual pullback, and where could it possibly be pulling back to, so we can find some possible good setups, if your price wants to continue to the downside, or if this is just an anomaly. This is just a false breakout, because that those happen too, and that's okay. But we got to be patient to see what price wants to do. So, like I said, we're on the weekly time frame right now. There's not much happening, much different on the monthly, besides price has just been going up, right? And I've already marked off my major trend line where price is broken out of that, and same thing on the weekly. So we're going to go down to the daily time frame. Let me open up this a little bit, and you can see that's the highlighted area. This is the highlighted candle from the weekly. And as you can see over here, this is where price broke out, and it just came and just did this little sideways motion, which tells me, okay, I love when price starts to consolidate, because it's is to make the move that it wants to make, gathering orders to do what it's going to do. So as of right now, price is moving up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break out my handy dandy fib. Boom, boom. Draw from one end to the bottom. Bring that over. And as we can see, let me open this up. Price has come back to this 30, not 30, but 23.6 area. And we could take some, some shorter trades from there. But my favorite areas, if you've been watching, is always the 38.2, the 50%, or in my golden zone area, the 61.8. I love those areas, right? But we'll see how it goes. So we're already seeing, just when we go down to the lower time frame, that on the daily we see it looks like, just based off how this candle closed on Friday, there's already some resistance that's happening so far, but it hasn't quite made it back up to the 38.2. And as you know, if you've been following me, you've been watching my videos, I like for price to go to the actual fib level and actually price to cut through it. I need for it to touch this line for it to be valid for me. But different strokes for different folks. I don't know. Everybody trades different. That's what I like to see, right? So if price was to come up here, I can see with the 38.2, I can see it. I see this level here, this support and resistance here. If I was to put a line here, it kind of closed right at it, right here. We got a support and resistance here. See, yeah, it's not the best, but I do see one here that's where's my line? There you go. One right here that's in that general area with the 38.2. Not quite. It's not going to be quite coming up to the 50%. Even though there's an area right here, I see one right here as well, right up in here. Boom, right in between. So we have some key support and resistance areas that's almost kind of coinciding with different levels of the fib, which I like to see. I like to see that's more confirmation, that's more confluence for me. I love that. I love it all day. So I like to keep a clean chart. So let me get rid of these real quick. Yeah, and I'm gonna get rid of it. So as we know, I established my green, my yellow zone, and my red zone where's the no go. So as of right now, just based off where my levels are and what I'm seeing right now, is I'm going to have more of definitive analysis come when the weekend, when the market opens up, because it could gap up. But I always want to see it come back to a level. The first level I wanted to see, since it's matching up with that my 38.2 level, and it'll be a retest of this trend line, along with this support and resistance level. That's my first level that I would want to see price come to and react from. I already see a reaction from the daily time frame where price has come and look like this is rejected, just based off of how this candle closed here, but it did not quite meet my 38.2 level. So just to reinforce, this is my first level, my green level that I want price to come to, my high level, right up in here, right? Somewhere up in here. I want price to react, but I want it to come through here. I want it to touch this 38.2. I want price to come through this 38.2 for a valid entry of this level and hold of this level, right? Next level is, well, I guess it's going to coincide with my golden zone here. Of course, I love this. This is a big area. I'm going to change this color and change that. This is my next level here where I would want price to come to, right? So we have level number 1 around the 38.2. We have level 2 around my 50% and my 61.8, which I really love. That'll be that's a deep pullback. Not a very deep pull, but a deep pullback, and I like that. Well, I want price to come up and react. Now again, what do we look for when we want price to come to react? We want short body candles. We want wick. We want Lord have mercy, I can't even think. Hesitation in the market. I can't think. But yeah, I want price to come in and stall out. I want to see a lot of wicks. I want to see a lot of short body candles. I don't want to see any engulfing candles in these areas, because that just shows that price has momentum behind it for me. And I don't want to be getting in for a sell when its price is clearly wanting to keep going up. I'm looking for buys at that point. So right now, what we're establishing is for sales, right? Now, it's possible that price could come all the way back up here. It's possible. Anything is possible, right? When it comes to the market, because like I said, this could be a false breakout. Those happen. For me, if it was to come back up in this area here, it is definitely a no-go for me. As far, well, I'm going to hesitate. I'm going to sit on my hands a little bit longer and see what price is going to do. Definitely if it gets back up to this 88.6 level. I know I've said that before. To me, that's like, I'm definitely looking for buys at that point. If it comes back up to this point, I'm waiting for it to buy. I mean, and don't get me wrong, if you know how to counter trend trade, do that. I don't advocate to counter trend trading. If you know how to do it, do it. Right now, I'm looking at it as if the trend has changed. It's going from a buy to a sell. So that's what I'm looking for at this point. But if it goes back up, of course, this is a long way up. You know what I'm saying? If I measure from here to here, that's 600 pips, right? That's 600 pips. I'm just the one that likes to catch the actual go. You know what they say, the trend is your friend. I like to ride with the trend. I'm not and I can admit I'm not the best counter trend trader. I can admit that. I have no problem admitting that. So I don't like to counter trend trade. But if you find that you can do it, do it. That's a lot of pips up. All right. So, but if it's all the way back up here and it's come back up in this area, to me, I'm looking for buys. I'm telling you flat out, I'm looking for a buy. I don't see it coming back up to this area no time soon, but like I said, you never know with price. So we have the first area here. If price comes up here, and again, like I said, we want price to react at this level. Come up through here and just pitty-patty along here. It could wick through a little bit, but we're still holding, We're going to have it's possible for some wicks to come through, but long as it holds this general area, right? That's what we're looking for. I'm gonna get rid of this. Price come up in here. So if it comes back up in here, we're holding it. We're going to take a trade down, and we're looking at a possible. We can take it to what I say TP1. So from somewhere in this general area, I just say from this area here to this area TP1, around 682 pips, right? If we take it to TP2, if you want to hold it that long, we're looking at around a little over 1,000 pips, 1,051 pips, right? That's what we're looking at if we holding it to then, right? And if we go a little bit high, and I'm going to take it from the middle of this zone here, price comes up to this zone here. And like I said, I'm taking it from the middle of this zone, because it could, if it comes back to the 50 and march through the 50%, but don't make it quite to the 61.8, that's okay, as long as it holds this area. And vice versa, if it comes if it blows through this 50% and comes up to the 61.8 and holds this level, we good, right? But I'm going to take it from the middle here. We got to TP1, we got pips. TP2, we got, oh, how many pips is that? 1,200, a little over 1,200, 1,229 pips possibly for this. Just holding it. This is why I have so much patience waiting for the trade to come to me, because it brings so much ease and peace of mind to my trading, where I can just literally set it and forget it. Like, I just mark up my chart, I wait for it to come to it, and I wait for price to react from it, and I wait for my entry. I get in and I hold it. I hold it, and I I set my alerts and stuff, and I just let it go. I just let it go and do this thing. And I do have my markers on there where I set up where I put possible stop loss. I mean, not stop loss, but where I want to take profit off the table and so forth, right? But I just let it go, and that brings so much ease to my trading, and it took me a while to get to that point with my trading, because I was one that used to sit and watch it, and now I just let it go. I've made peace with, if it does not go my way, because that's possible too. You can wait, you can have the perfect setup and you still get stopped out. It happens. It's happened to me plenty of times. I've been trading for 8 years and it still happens to me to this day, right? So, but I still have peace of mind because I follow my setup, I follow my trading plan, and I just rock with it, right? But anyway, so that's pretty much all I have here. So just a quick review. If it comes around to my green area here, this is my first high value area here, where if price comes up to this 38.2 level here, we're looking this is possibly in the near future. Like I said, we're looking at around from this area, just taking it to TP1, 680 pips, right? We're going to take it from the middle of the box here in my yellow zone. We're looking at about just taking it to TP1, 864 pips. And if it gets back up to this red zone, it's a no-go. Sit on your hands and wait and see what it's going to do, because we're back up in buy zone. It's going to cross back over back into our uptrend here. And for me at that point, it's just like, okay, well, that's just that was just for me a false breakout at this point. That's how I'm going to be looking at it if it comes up in this area, unless price shows me something different, right? So we have high value, a little bit more hesitant, and no-go zone. But either way, if you wait for the trade to come to you, if you wait for the setup to come to you, you'll be okay every time. All right. So that's all I have for today. I hope you guys have a great trading week. I'll be back later on this week with an update to see what prices with price will be doing with pound NZD, if there's any significant changes with it, and we'll go from there. Have a great day.